Hi there, my name is Courtney Kurtz, and I am presenting on an article titled Creativity and Culture, a two-way interaction by Elizabeth Rudowitz from the Department of Applied Social Studies at the City University of Hong Kong. This article was written in 2003. At that time in America, George W. Bush is president. We witnessed the Space Shuttle Columbia disaster, where upon re-entry the space shuttle disintegrated and killed its 7 crew members. The Human Genome Project was completed in April. This project finished sequencing 99% of the human genome. The group working on this project found over 20,000 individual genes and base pairs that make up our DNA, hoping to better understand and prevent future disease. The USA plans to invade Iraq due to threat of weapons of mass destruction. Saddam Hussein was captured. French fries became freedom fries in protest of France's stand in Iraq. And Apple launches iTunes, in which they sold 10 million songs in 4 months. There is obviously many more important dates and events that occurred in 2003, but I pulled out the ones that I felt matched the focus of this class: creativity, diversity, and equality. These events listed take creative people to complete or dissect in order to be successful. Now, focusing on this article, I jotted down some of Rudowitz's main points or beliefs. This article was not a study that produced results, but rather more of a discussion on how culture influences creativity. To begin, Rudowitz reports that one's creativity is heavily influenced by one's sociocultural system. She says that creativity is not just a mental process. Instead, creativity should be seen as a social process and as a cultural process as well. In order to fully understand an individual's creative behavior, we need to adopt a view that includes an understanding of the person's culture. She goes on to note that creativity is a result of human thought that operates on a set of existing representations, rules, objects, or notions that one learns within their culture. Also, creativity is seen when a person makes a change in a given domain only because of the existing knowledge, rules, standards, and tradition. This change can be evaluated, accepted, and transmitted, which affects the expression of creativity. She continues by noting that creativity is a process that includes the culture, which includes one's ideas, values, and beliefs, the social system, which includes which ideas, values, behaviors, and information are preserved, and the individual, who may change the cultural domains. All in all, culture affects the conceptualization of creativity, the creative process, the forms and domains of creativity, and the degree to which creativity is encouraged and nurtured. Moving forward, the article discussed differences among what teachers valued from different cultures. When it came to British teachers, the female teachers perceived creativity as self-expression and awareness of beauty. The males perceived it as innovation and divergence. When it came to Finnish teachers, they perceived creativity as finding new solutions, using old knowledge in new ways, hard work, humor, and imagination, but also flexibility in social situations. They look at creativity from both the individual and social perspectives. When it came to Romanian teachers, they perceived creativity as observant, humorous, inventive, fun-loving, unrestrictive, and more. When it came to Brazilian and Cuban teachers, they perceived creativity as emotional sensitivity, so they focused on intuition, humor, curiosity, resistance to failure, being a dreamer, and being a humanist. Looking at all of the differences led me to thinking about Torrance's creative positives and how his list may look different among different cultures. Depending on what the culture values, he may have to alter some of his domains so that the disadvantaged children in different cultures can still be seen as creative, but in different ways that we use in America. Moving forward, Rudowitz discussed briefly value in creativity. She noted, culture influences people's attitudes towards the value and use of creative endeavors. The practice of creativity may bring out tensions and controversy. Many say that we don't value creativity and we value old, safe solutions, we as in Americans. Teachers prefer kids with personality traits that do not show creativeness. We prefer unquestioning, acceptance of authority, conformity, logical thinking, and responsibility. They see creative students as a source of disruption. Statistics say that more than half of people surveyed feel as though creativity is being stifled by our education system. Only 1 in 4 people feel as though they are living up to their creative potential. Only 52% of Americans say that they are creative. 75% of people say that they are under pressure to be productive rather than creative at work. I cannot argue with these statistics, as I am one of them. I feel as though our education system and our work areas do stifle creativity, and we don't value it as much as we should. It is very clear that with so many different cultures and backgrounds in America, we could have a very creative society, but we hide from controversy, shy away from tension, and value safe solutions. Moving forward, culture influences creativity by fostering it, but also sometimes discouraging it. Culture influences more or less encouragement when it comes to creative expression. For example, in North America, creativity in science, art, academics, and problem solving is encouraged, but not as much so in politics and socioeconomic theory. In Bali, creativity in art is encouraged. In Turkey, creativity in science and technology is encouraged. In Latin America, creativity in business and advertising is encouraged. In Mexico, creativity in music, literature, and dance is encouraged. Culture not only influences creativity, but also determines what is perceived as creativity. When it comes to developing and fostering creativity, all agreed that restricting freedom in young children hinders creative development. Different societies emphasize different practices. Some examples of different societies include collectivism or individualism societies, conformity and tradition versus novelty and originality, self-control versus self-expression, learning through memorization versus through trial and error. Western cultures seem to be more liberal and individualistic. They follow democracy and capitalism. They also believe in freedom. Eastern cultures are more collectivists. They believe in conformity, tradition, and interdependence. When it comes to fostering creativity, it is important to note 91% surveyed agree there is more to success in school than focusing on course material. 82% of people wish they had more exposure to creative thinking as students. And 87% of people say creativity is very important to their career, but that only 57% thought so when they were in college. This goes to show how important educators are to the exposure of individual creative abilities. When it comes to defining different societies, it is true that collectivistic societies, such as Chinese societies and Japanese societies, place emphasis on obedience, duty, cooperation, compromise, and conformity. They're concerned with social harmony rather than opinions or desires. Their social rules focus on promoting selflessness. They work as a group. They do what's best for their society, and their families and communities have a central role. Individualist societies, such as North America, place emphasis on freedom, independence, human rights, and differences. They're concerned with being autonomous, pursuing our own interests, and being unique. To summarize Rudewitz's article, 1. Culture plays a large role when it comes to understanding creativity and creative expression. 2. The relationship between culture and creativity is complex. 3. Creativity also depends on historical, societal, and individual factors. 4. Being creative is universal. 5. Creativity needs to be studied individually from a unique perspective. You guys can check out the discussion questions. You may answer some of them or all of them. Feel free, some of them you can use a bulleted list, and that's perfectly fine. I look forward to reading your answers, and here are my citations. Thank you.